Why not give it to a manager like Carricks and let him build something? Stop this chopping and changing from all these different styles.
There is a ruthlessness to him, which I think you need in management.
100%.
The new signings look as though they can handle it. Cunha and Mbeumo in particular look as though they belong on the pitch at Old Trafford.
Nobody's looking at Manchester United now. It's been negative for 10 years, and now it's great.
Michael Carrick has been appointed Manchester United head coach until the end of the season.
Mbeumo at the Rashford! What a start from Michael Carrick! Outstanding! Matheus Cunha! United's revival under Carrick. Siska! It's the spirit of Fergie time! It's Mbeumo to place it! What a finish!
It's a huge moment for all of us. We've got to keep building on that.
Welcome to the Breakdown. So we're going to talk about Manchester United, the impact that Michael Carrick has had on the club and the improvement that they've made since Carrick replaced Ruben Amorim at Old Trafford. In the company of Steve McManaman, Ali McCoist, Owen Hargreaves and Joe Cole. Owen, I'll start with you as a former Manchester United player. How impressed have you been by what Michael Carrick's done?
He's done an incredible job. You know, I've known Carricks. I played with him in England under 21s. What was that? We were in that team, weren't we? 2002.
Yeah.
And you know, I probably would never thought he probably would be a manager. You know, he was so understated, he was so quiet. But you know what? Carricks has a natural elegance. He did as a player, and the way he carries himself, I think he's been class. He's just gone straight into the back four. You think, but under Ruben, you know, with that back three, under Carricks, virtually every player's playing a different position except the goalkeeper. Two centre backs went from playing in a 3 to a 2. The wing backs now playing as full-backs, went from a midfield 2 to now in playing in a 3, went from having 10s to wingers. You know, it's changed the whole team, and everybody, it's not rocket science, everybody's in their natural position and they're performing. Put Bruno in as a 10 and let him go create. How Kobbie hasn't played for football as a year is mind-blowing. One of the best young talents in the world of football, and for a kid not to play for a year and to come in and play against City and Arsenal and basically run the games is a testament, and obviously Carricks knows that position, but I just think Carricks right now, he's been flawless. He hasn't got one thing wrong, and I'm delighted for him because the fans have really suffered, and it feels like Old Trafford's back. The fans are happy, but most importantly, Fletcher, they're winning. That's all this is about, is winning, and when you win, it fixes a lot of things.
Listen, I know him very well. My roommate at West Ham, we come through a youth team together.
He survived that, didn't he?
Yeah, he survived, mate. He put up with me for 3 years. That should put him.
Hey, Man United's a piece of cake
Yeah,
after that.
God, yeah, he's a doddle now dealing with them. No, but what people don't know about Carrick, he's very elegant, but there's a ruthlessness to him as well. Like, don't let that. He's one of them guys who'll sit and he'll watch. Mad competitor, quiet competitor. Like he wants to win, but there is a ruthlessness to him, which I think you need in management.
100%.
You know, and I think he's one of them. I agree. You sort of when you first have impressions, would he be a manager? Would he go into that? You probably think no, but then when you sit back and think about how intense he can be in his preparation, he was meticulous, and I think he's done a great job. And Owen's right, Kobbie Mainoo coming in, it's doubly bad for Amorim because it makes him look so stubborn that this kid's not played for a year. You know, he can't play in a system. Good players can play in any system. They'll find a way. And Kobbie Mainoo coming in has been outstanding. He's, like you said, he's run them 2 games, and and he must look at it and go, I've woken up in a dream. I'm back playing for Manchester United. I've got arguably one of the best players the club's ever had in that position as my manager, who knows that position inside out, who can help me develop. And all of a sudden, he's back at the races, and you know, could be a late call up. He's exactly what England need as well.
But you know what's remarkable? Everybody said Man United's biggest weakness was that central midfield. They needed midfield players, right? They need to go spend 100 million on 2 players. All of a sudden now, we've gone back to Casemiro. How many Champions Leagues has he won? And you've gone back to Kobbie, who's one of the best young talents in the world, and you got probably the best player in the Premier League playing his natural position. It's not that bad, just because they're playing their natural positions.
Steve, you played at Liverpool, a club with a massive identity. Real Madrid, a club with a massive identity. Manchester United, likewise, huge identity. Does it help Michael Carrick, the fact that he knows the ethos of Manchester United? He knows what Manchester United is and needs to be. Has that made that move into this interim role easier for him to be successful?
Yeah, I think so. He's just gone back to basics, really, hasn't he? In the style of play that he wants to see, the style of play that the fans want to see, the style of play that he was brought up with. And the fact that he's got away from the three at the back, which didn't suit a lot of the players, and he's gone back to, well, weirdly enough, he's gone back to the positions where the players are happier in. They look more attack-minded. They look as if they're playing exciting football, and that's what it's all about for Manchester United. I'm the same. I'm thrilled to bits for him and Johnny Evans and Jonathan Woodgate, because the criticism they were off some quarters that they were taking when they got the job, without them even kicking a ball, I thought it was terrible. So the fact that they've proven a lot of people wrong in the short term, I'm made up for them. I mean, I know Michael, I know Johnny, and I know Jonathan Woodgate. And why shouldn't they be able to? They've got the experience. Jonathan Woodgate's managed. Michael Carrick's managed, and he did really well at Middlesbrough.
Don't forget Steve Holland on there as well, with his experience alongside.
Michael Carrick has got the experience. He managed at Middlesbrough. Who's to say, Middlesbrough is the same quality as a Sporting Lisbon or a Leipzig or whatever sexy manager they're looking at in the future?
What do you think they need to see more to give him the job? Because when you look at the list of candidates, Thomas Tuchel's staying on with England, so you can put a line through him, because he would have been a strong contender.
He'd never a disaster for him not to get a job.
Do you think he's absolute clear favourite now and should be?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Well, think about it. Think about it right now. If he keeps going the way he's going and they don't give him the job, they bring somebody else in and they are not a success, they'll get absolutely... Those owners will get crucified. Yeah. Absolutely crucified. Ruben Amorim is obviously a very, very good coach, but I think the best coaches can adapt. And the thing that surprised me is, we know the way he played. We saw them enough over in Portugal, but it wasn't, that United team wasn't suited to playing that. So Michael Carrick's come in, and the first thing he's done is he's played people in their natural position. He's got Fernandes, who, out of all the doom and gloom, I have to say, I think has been absolutely outstanding. I really think he's been outstanding. And there's a couple of things that are very, very important. The new signings look as though they can handle it. Yeah. You play at a place like Old Trafford and Anfield, you've got to handle it. You've got to handle it. It's easy to handle it when things are going well.
Isn't it?
It's a big shirt. You've got to handle it. It's easy to handle it when things are going well. Difficult when things aren't going well. Cunha and Mbeumo in particular, to me, look as though they belong on the pitch at Old Trafford. Šeško's beginning to look the part as well, 1 or 2 goals. And one of the most important things, I'm talking about players looking the part and handling it on the pitch. Michael Carrick, I think, looks the real deal off the pitch.
So why not give it him now? Why not just say to him, you've done well enough, you're the manager, there's your job. What are they waiting for?
They'll hold the cards.
They're waiting just to see if he carries on, or if he fails, and then they got the opportunity then to change the mind.
But are you better off? I was chatting the other day about this. Are you at the minute, he's the interim manager. So he's been given a free go to be the manager of Man United, the winning games. There's not a great deal of pressure that comes with it, because he's got no idea if he's going to get the job or not. Why not give him the job and see how he handles the pressure and say to him, listen, we think we should be finishing second. We're going to set you up.
But they did that with all, didn't they, Fletch? Yeah, but once they announced he was going to stay on, and then they kind of.
But what do you learn if he's not the permanent manager between now and the end? He's not managing under pressure.
But he is the manager, isn't he? He is the manager to the end of the season. I know he's the interim, but it doesn't matter. He's still manager of Manchester United now. So,
but you can't believe in him if you're not giving him the job. If you don't believe in him now,
you just don't need to give him the job at the moment. That's the thing.
But what would I don't see the benefit. I think actually not giving it to him right now just keeps a little bit of tension and pressure on everyone, which is good. And I think when you have that, you perform better.
Does it not stop the plans that you might make for the summer? Because Michael Carrick is going to want certain things if he's the Manchester United manager. Why would you not start putting that in place now? Why wait till the end of the season?
But if they said tomorrow, Manchester United has a 5-year contract, you know what the press will do.
Don't give him a 5-year contract. Give him an 18-month contract. You don't need 5-year contracts as a manager.
What if they give him a job tomorrow and he doesn't make Champions League?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, then you know you've got the wrong fella. And you can get out of it in the summer if that's what you choose to do. Yeah. But if you leave
what's the point?
Sorry?
What's the point?
Yeah, there isn't no point.
Because you've made the decision that he's the manager that you want, and he's winning matches. You've all sat around this table and waxed lyrical.
And then all of a sudden you don't qualify for the Champions League, and he's not the manager you want.
But does that still make him the wrong manager? Because all you've said around this table, all of you, is he's done that right, that right, that right, that. You've not found anything yet that Michael Carrick's done wrong. So ultimately, he's trying to qualify for a competition where he's only had a limited amount of time to get the necessary points.
So why don't we wait and see if he gets there?
You know why they won't?
Because should that be the ultimate decision? Is he only going to get the job if he qualifies for the Champions League? If he doesn't, does he not deserve it? Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is, if he qualifies for the Champions League, which I think he's got every chance of doing right now, he's an absolute certainty and should get the job.
I agree. But if he doesn't, would you still give it to him?
If he,
I'll tell you at the end of the season.
yeah.
We're not doing the programme at the end of the season, we're doing it now.
Well, if he finishes 10th, the answer will be no.
Yeah.
You know.
If he finishes
Fifth.
just outside of it by a point because Liverpool have clicked into gear and won 8 out of 9, I still think in Manchester United going, well, that's a huge improvement from where we were to what we do. Do we want to change that all up?
I don't think it's a big deal.
I don't know.
I really
I
don't.
don't know at all.
Neither do
No.
I, actually.
No.
As far as I'm concerned, he's manager of Manchester United until he messes up. So it doesn't matter whether he's called interim or what. As far as I'm concerned, looking at it, he is the manager of Manchester United.
But you know why they won't do it? Because they've already done it with Ruben, and it didn't work out. It wasn't a good fit. So the people above, I don't think they can afford to make another decision like that and then it not work out at the end of the season.
Done it with everybody.
That's why they won't.
Since Sir Alex retired, they've done it with everybody and got it wrong, ultimately, because they've not won a league title or a Champions League, and they're the two trophies that Manchester United should be challenging for every year.
And that's why really Carricks, he's shown, most important is winning, right? They brought in some of the best managers there's ever been. You know, you think about the last decade outside of Pep and Klopp, Van Gaal, Mourinho, you know, they did a decent job, really. So why not give it to a manager like Carricks and let him build something? Stop this chopping and changing from all these different styles.
I agree. I just find it difficult to work out why you just don't. If you've decided
we agree,
that
but let's just do it in the summer.
I just think, like Joe said before, just leave it as it is.
Yeah.
Don't touch
It's working?
it. It's working. I think if you said to him, your manager, here's a 2-year deal, all the press and all the nonsense that would come with it. And it would be. We know that. You don't need that at the moment. You might as well have it in the summer while England are playing in the World Cup and everybody's focused
Are you
there.
not better seeing how he handles that? Would you not then have an indication of how he's going to handle that?
Carricks can handle that. He's chill.
Yeah.
I just don't think you need the outside noise when they're doing really well and the pressures. Nobody's looking at Manchester United now. It's been negative for 10 years and now it's great. Just leave them alone and let's focus on it.
I'm not sure Carricks would even want it right now.
No,
Announced like that.
Even if
He wanted to say, let me prove it.
Leave me alone.
Let me prove it to you.
Yeah.
You've just said there, though, I know that Carricks will handle it.
He will.
A lot of people have gone in there who should be able to handle it and haven't been able to handle it. Managers with a lot more experience than him. So what makes you so certain that if he becomes Manchester United manager, he can do what other managers with a lot better track record than him as a manager haven't been able to do?
I'll tell you what he did, which makes me think he can handle it. When he took the job as an interim for 2 games, they played Chelsea away, and he dropped his mate Ronaldo because he couldn't press. So that I think as his first job as a manager, he's dropping Ronaldo, and he's your mate.
And then they got rid of him after that.
Listen, whether they got rid of him, but just that tells me he's got the minerals to make big decisions. And we know him personally, and we know I've never seen him fazed by anything.
And me too.
Never
Even
seen
in the
him
game.
fazed by anything. Yeah, you know
He just looks at home.
Yeah.
The only argument you can have to not give it to him is experience. He doesn't have the experience at the top. He's not a Tuchel or a Luis Enrique. But what comes with that comes demands and expectations. I want this player. I want that player. Carricks is never going to do that. Carricks has been around these boys and he knows what it's like. He knows what it's like for the fans. He knows what it's like for the players. He can deal up. He's not going to get 2 up, 2 down. With those managers, look at them all now. Comes this expectation. Give me this. I want that. Carricks is never going to do that. He'll work with the company. Right, guys, this is what we need. We're going to build. He's been around the best players Man United probably had in decades. He knows what a 10 looks like. He knows what a defensive midfield player looks like. He knows what centre-backs look like. He can help in terms of that recruitment. So I think, in a way, if he finishes in top 5, he'll get it. He has to, because, like Ali said, if they don't, and the new manager starts, they're
You see, it strikes me as a pretty much a no-brainer, just based on this list of people that are supposed candidates. Roberto De Zerbi just got fired at Marseille. He's one of the he's one of the shortest priced on a list that did include Thomas Tuchel and doesn't anymore. It's not as if there's an embarrassment of riches beating down the door at Old Trafford to become the manager. It looks to me at the minute that Michael Carrick is pretty much a no-brainer. Just based on what else is there.
Well, we're not.
We just agree on the timeline.
I'm exactly with you.
Yeah.
Tuchel's with England, Carlo's with Brazil. I know that could all end in July, August, but then that'll be too late. And I'm the same as you. I think it's a no-brainer unless they've got some.
Unless you get Luis Enrique out of PSG.
He's not leaving PSG, is he?
No, I know, but I'm saying, unless you could do that, I don't see who else could get it.
Knowing Michael Carrick then, as you do, and you've spoken really positively about him, if Luis Enrique was available, would that then move you away from Michael Carrick based on the fact he's won the Champions League with PSG and Barcelona? Would you then say, well, now Would you be confident that Enrique would go in there and be a shoe-in success?
Unless Enrique wanted a different challenge, and he said, I've done France, I want to go Man United, and I can imagine he might want to do that. You think about that, Barcelona, PSG, he's ticked every box, he's been an incredible manager, and to be fair, the success he's had, you could say he deserves that opportunity, and he'd probably get it. But I do think Carricks has shown that he can get a tune out the players. The fans are on side, I think he can deal with players, he can deal up. I'd rather see Man United build something with somebody because all these men, like De Zerbi's a brilliant coach, probably one of the best tacticians about. Everywhere is like a year and a half, 2. That you don't need that at Man United. Look at the success they've had of it. Build with somebody. Build with the sporting director. Let's all work together. Let's stop throwing each other under the bus.
Let me ask you this one then. So you've made the point there that you're confident that Michael Carrick can manage up. Are you also confident in that structure around Michael Carrick that they can give him the opportunity to be successful?
I think they need Carricks in there to tell them what they need.
Right.
To say, look, guys, the biggest issue they've had has been recruitment. And I'm not sure who was buying and selling the players, but it sure wasn't, they need somebody like that, like Carricks, to go in and go, this is what a Man United midfield player looks like, this is what a centre-back looks like. Yeah, we do stuff on data, but in the end, can data deal with pressure, Fletch, when you walk out of Old Trafford? There's been pressure there, and you guys said before, sometimes the shirt weighs heavy, whether you're at Liverpool, whether you're at Real Madrid, you have to be able to deal with that. Ali made an amazing point about Cunha and Mbeumo. They're ready for that. They walk out there and they say, come on then, I'll deal with that.
Flip side of the coin, you could name 4 or 5 boys, excellent players, good players, no doubt about it. They couldn't handle it, whether it's Anthony, Hoyland, boys like that. Sancho, yeah.
Sanchez,
yeah.
there's been a lot.
Yeah.
They just didn't look as though they could handle that environment. I just think the big difference is, and they're not here yet, but they're work in progress.
I don't think they're a million miles away either. When you kind of look at the team and you think if they can have a good summer against the Champions League and they have money to spend, if you look at, you got the goalkeeper, you don't need any more centre backs. They've got great centre back. Luke Shaw and Dalot, that's good enough. Obviously Casemiro leaves, so you need a defensive midfield player. But if you still got Kobbie and Bruno, you got Mbeumo and Cunha, so you need a left winger and a couple of centre mids and maybe an experienced striker. That's doable, And then I think they're not a million miles away.
Yeah, they need to deal with that, don't they? The Rashford situation.
Do you think he might come back if Michael Carrick's the manager, Rashford?
No.
Why not? They need a left winger. Why not?
I don't think so. If Barcelona want him and they're willing to come to some agreement in paying the wages, and we all know what Barcelona's financial statement is at the minute, which is all over the place and terrible. But if they can afford him, I think he'd rather stay there.
I love Mark. Can you imagine him back in that team with Carricks? Carricks would be the perfect one, probably get something out of him.
Probably.
And you think about Hoyland as well. He's tearing it up in this area. They're already your players.
Hoyland, if he wasn't a Manchester United player, he might be on the list of they'd be having a look at him, wouldn't they?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Which is insane. Yeah.
McTominay would possibly
Can you
one
Scott?
as well. It's been fantastic, isn't
Yeah.
It is amazing though when you feel it and how quickly he's changed it, and it does kind of beg the question: what were they messing about at prior to Michael Carrick coming in? In terms of allowing the manager to constantly pick it.
There's always a shiny new toy for these clubs, isn't it? There always is. There's always something over there which is better than what they've got in front of the faces. Sir Alex was local, and then they've gone all around the houses picking Jose and different styles of football and back and forth, and they've gone back to where they originally were, haven't they? But an ex-player who knows the style and who knows the club inside out.
Do you know what? You know what's remarkable is you think about all these foreign managers getting so many opportunities, which is great, and they brought so much to the game. You think about Klopp and Pep and Arsene Wenger. It's nice to see a young English coach actually get an opportunity. Why? This is one of the greatest countries in the world for football, and the English coaches can barely get an opportunity. It's like, how is that even possible? The career that Michael Carrick's had, and people are questioning the fact that he actually gets an opportunity. Why?
If they do have a good summer with Michael Carrick as the manager, could they legitimately challenge for a title as early as next season?
No, probably not, because the biggest issue they've had is recruitment. And if you fall behind for 3 or 4 years and you don't spend the money correctly, say, that's like 400 or 500 million. You're 400 or 500 million behind. That's why the championship teams promoted struggle to compete, because they don't have the squad depth. So I think United, they could take a step, but you need to take a step. Arsenal did it this summer, didn't they?
What if they finish second this year? Because there's a legitimate chance.
They could, yeah.
They've got 12 league games left, so they've not got to bother about anything else.
No European football.
They can pick the same team if they want to.
Which is a big thing.
Yeah, so they've got a good chance. If there's a stumble from either of those above, they could finish. If they finish second and have a good summer, are we still saying that the title would still be beyond them next year?
Well, we're not completely beyond, but what I'm saying to you is you need to build towards that. Arsenal have proven that. You finish second, and then you got to go spend a lot of money. Now Arsenal have a squad to compete to win the trophy, and they're probably going to win it. And I think United need to build towards not having so many holes in the squad.
They need
100%.
And spend correctly.
He's 100% right. What's the difference this moment in time? And you're right to point out that United have beaten Arsenal City. However, no European games. You're looking at European games, taking them FA Cup, League Cup, whatever it may be. What's the difference between Arsenal and City? Their squads. Arsenal might, in my opinion, have the strongest squad I've ever seen in English football. Might not be the best team, right? In English football that I've ever seen. I think it's the best team this season. But in terms of the squad, it might be the strongest squad I've ever seen.
So to finish then, Michael Carrick's a yes?
Yes.
Definitely yes.
Absolute banker.
100% yes.
So Michael Carrick's a yes. Everybody's impressed by what he's done.
What do you think, Fletch?
Oh, I would give Michael Carrick the job now. I've been quite clear on that. I'd give it him now. I can't see that. I hear all of you, and I bow to your superior knowledge of these situations than me. But if he's your manager and he's doing well, I can't see the necessity to wait. I give him the job. I just think it makes your summer planning that much easier if everybody knows who's doing what, and you're just a lot more joined up than you are if you've got a question mark over who your manager's going to be. So I would give it to him now.
I think the players every game are going out there thinking we need to do well here
For Carricks.
because we want him to get the job.
Yeah.
And that's the point about the tension, isn't it? It keeps everybody on a tiny bit of tension to perform.
And that's why this programme's the tension.
That's not what it's called. That's not what it's called. The tension, isn't it?
Tension. Steve McManaman, Ali McCoist, Owen Hargreaves and Joe Cole. Everybody's bought in on Michael Carrick. He'll get the job, we're just not quite sure when. Tomorrow if it was me, the summer if it's this lot. Manchester United doing really well. You can follow the rest of the season to see where they ultimately finish on TNT Sports and Discovery Plus. And we'll speak to you soon.